Alright, so today we're going to start to make a painted snowman. So you're going to get a long piece of pink paper. You're going to write your name and the day you have art. You're going to flip it over, and then you'll get a 4-inch circle. You're going to start near the bottom of your paper, not quite at the bottom because you want to leave some space for the ground, the snowy ground that your snowman sits on. And you're going to trace around your circle carefully with your pencil. Pick up the circle pattern, move it, and make it touch just the tippy top of your first circle. You're going to trace around that with your pencil. Pick up your circle pattern. The two circles should touch. They should not overlap each other and make one of those little football shapes. And then finally your third circle, and you can see you have plenty of space for your hat, so that's why we put our circles near the bottom, so we have space for the hat. And there's your 3 circles. Then you're going to use white tempera paint to paint in your circles. So very carefully and completely use your paintbrush, paint right along the edge of your pencil line. Try and cover that pencil line up a little bit with your paint so we don't see it when you're finished. So just do your very best. Go slow when you're painting. And when I paint, I like to paint around the outer edge of the circle first, and then I fill in. So I paint slowly, trying to cover up that pencil, and then I can paint a little bit quicker when I fill in the circle. I don't want to paint messy, but I can paint quicker because the outline is there and I just have to stay within that space. Alright, so I'm going to do that again for each of my 2 remaining circles. One last circle to do. I like to start at the top and work my way down. That way I don't accidentally smudge or drag my sleeve through the paint. And when you're painting, you should always try and pull the paintbrush towards you, not push it away. Because when you push it away, look what happens to your paintbrush. It gets all nasty. It looks like what I call, it looks like a wet cat. It's all spiky. So you want to pull your paintbrush. Okay, and now you need to paint the ground. So your snowman can't float above the sky or above the ground. So you have to paint a line that goes across the bottom of your snowman. And then you're going to carefully paint the bottom of your paper. And I should have put some scrap paper underneath my painting so I don't get paint on the table, but accidentally I forgot. So I'll have to wipe that up here in a minute. So once you have the ground painted and your 3 circles painted, you're finished with your paintbrush. So you're going to set that aside. I'm going to use some scrap paper to set this on. And then you're going to take a cotton swab, dip one end of the cotton swab into the paint, and you're going to gently just press that down, stamping it for falling snow. And you're going to go around all the pink space around your snowman. You don't have to put them super close together, but I want you to do it neatly. So you have to press down and pull up, press down and pull up. And you don't have to dip every time. You can stamp 3, 4, 5 times and then re-dip. But I don't want you to drag your cotton swab, or it won't look like falling snow, it'll look like a shooting star instead. So take your time, hold the paper down, because the paper kind of wants to come up with the cotton swab when you pull up. And you're just going to add falling snow all the way around in the pink spaces. Okay, and this is the end of the first day. So we traced our circles, painted them in, and then did the falling snow on the ground. On the second day, when your paper is completely dry, it's going to look like this. I'm going to move this out of the way. Alright, so it's all nice and dry. So we need to turn this into a snowman instead of just 3 snowballs sitting on top of each other. So we're going to start with the hat. You're going to get a hat pattern and a scrap piece of black paper. Take your hat pattern, lay it on the black paper, make it fit. The bottom of your hat is nice and straight, so if you can find a straight edge to your black paper, put that against there, and then trace around it with your pencil. Put that out. Then pick any color strip of construction paper that you want, any color that you like. Now I'm going to use this light blue, and you're going to glue that across the top part of your hat, right above the brim. So this is the brim of the hat, this part that's wider than the main part. Put a line of glue across, take your strip, make it go over, and see how it's above the brim. Then when you flip it over, you can just trim that right next to the edge of the black. Flip it over, and you have a hat that you can now glue onto your snowman. Do a frame of glue. Now, when you glue your hat on, don't make it come too far down to where you can see the edges of your white circles. Bring it up a little bit, but also make sure that it stays on the pink paper. And now you're going to do a scarf. So you have a scarf pattern, and you're going to pick any color construction paper piece that you want for your scarf. Lay your scarf down, trace around it. So I chose blue. I'm going to cut that out. And then you're going to pick another strip of construction paper like you picked for the top, the brim of your hat. And it can be the same color or it can be a different color. It really is completely your choice. So I chose a different color. I chose a green strip. And you're going to take and cut this into skinny strips of paper so that you can make a striped scarf. A pattern of stripes on your scarf. You probably won't need all of this, so I'm going to stop there. And then you're going to take your glue and you're going to draw lines or stripes with your glue, and don't put them real close together because that makes more work for you. Space them out, and then take your strips, your stripes, glue them on. I'm going to make them all hang off only one side. This will save me a little bit of time. If I glue them to where they're hanging off both sides, like this, then I have to cut twice. I have to cut on this side and this side. But if I scoot them all over to one side, then I can flip it over and just trim off very carefully. The glue's still wet, so they're going to want to wiggle a little bit. You're going to have to use your hand to kind of hold them in place. I can trim those off, and I have a nice stripe across the top. Now I'm going to make my stripes go the other direction, horizontal, and take my remaining stripes. Again, I'm going to have them all hang off one side. It saves just a little bit of time, a little bit of cutting. Have them all hang off one side. Then flip this over. You're going to get your hands gluey, but we can use a wipe later to wipe them off. And so you have a nice perfect scarf with stripes. And then you're going to glue the scarf onto your snowman. Right around his neck. And the last thing that you're going to cut and glue for your project is a carrot nose. So I'm just going to cut a diagonal line to make kind of a triangle nose. I'm going to glue this on. You don't want to make it too big, but you also don't want to make it too small. And the end of the carrot nose goes right in the middle of your snowman's face. So middle from top to bottom, middle from right to left, right in the center. And then just to finish off your snowman, you use a black crayon to add the eyes. So I'm going to add some oval eyes. You need circles, little circle dots, a dotted curved line with your black crayon. And you might want to do this in pencil first, that way if you make a mistake you can erase it and then go over it with black crayon. If you just do it straight with black crayon like I'm doing, you might make a mistake that you can't erase. You need arms, so some stick arms. And if you want, at this point you can be finished, or if you want to add some buttons, if you have enough room with your scarf, you want to add some buttons in this middle snowman body part, you can, but you don't have to. You add a few buttons. The bottom part of your snowman's left blank. There's nothing that you need to add there. So it's either on that center circle or the top circle that you're adding buttons or your face and the hat. And there you have it, your finished snowman.